Hi everybody, I hope that you are doing well. Today we are still in the same unit, feelings and emotions. Today we are going to deal with vocabulary, right? Okay, so let's start please. As you see that when we talk about feelings and emotions, we deal especially with adjectives, because adjectives are used to describe either our physical appearance or our emotions and feelings. Right. That's why I've chosen these tasks about adjectives. So today we have a list of different words or nouns. Okay. These are very important nouns that are related to feelings and emotions. So all what you have to do, students, is to change these nouns into adjectives. So remember or think of the most common suffixes that we can use or that we can add to nouns to make adjectives. The most common ones, as you know maybe, or as you do remember, we have ed, we have full, we have ous. So these are the most common suffixes that we can add to make adjectives. Now, so we have affection, we have anxiety, we have boredom, calmness, care, charity, confidence, coolness, deception, delight, emotion, fear, fright, gladness, fun, grace, gratitude, happiness. We have jealousy, joy, indifference, loneliness, love, niceness, peace, pride, pessimism, optimism, terribleness, tranquility, rudeness, safety, stress, sorrow, scare, shame, selfishness, serenity. Here I must draw your attention on a very important point. You don't have always to add suffix to make adjectives. Sometimes we have simply to omit suffix. Okay? We have to omit suffix. For example, let's say happiness. We can simply omit the suffixness to get happy, which is the adjectives. Okay? We don't all have, not all the time we have to add suffixes. Sometimes we have to omit. Okay, so let's go to the possible answers. Here are the adjectives that you may have found. Okay? For example, affection, we say affective or affected. I should also remind you that we can have more than one adjective. It means we can add different suffixes to make different adjectives for the same noun. Sometimes they have the same meaning, other times they change in general. We have anxious for anxiety, we have bored and boring. Okay? Though they are slightly different in meaning, you can check them on your dictionaries later. We have calmness. As I told you, sometimes we have simply to omit the suffixness, like calmness, and get an adjective. Sometimes we have to add the very common adjectives, suffixes such as full, endless, careful, careless. We have also able, like charitable, confident. By the way, most or all of these suffixes you learned before. Okay, you learned in first and second year. Okay, right. So here are some adjectives that we can make to describe our emotions and feelings. Okay, because you should remember that our main topic in this unit is feelings and emotions. Right. Let's go to another task. Here we have to always answer this question. How would you feel if? Okay? How would you feel if? Here you are going to move through different situations. So in every situation, think of the appropriate adjectives. So let's start, for example, number one. How would you feel if everyone forgot your birthday? Okay? So how do you feel? Do you have a positive or negative feeling? If somebody or if everyone, sorry, not only someone, everyone forgot your birthday, automatically how do you feel? Okay, let's check. Excuse me. So you feel sad. Okay, most of us feel sad. You can think of other adjectives. I suggested sad, but you can feel maybe disappointed, sometimes angry. Why not? Okay, angry with your families, especially when it comes from your close friends or relatives. How would you feel if you won the lottery? Okay, how do you feel? Okay, so let's say, or let's suggest, for example, happy. Okay, happy. This is one suggestion. There could be other feelings. You had an important test tomorrow. Automatically, most of us are stressed before tests. Okay, and as we said, even it's a negative feeling, but it's still natural. Okay, we have simply to know how to control, how to have self-control, and how to control this feeling. You got lost in the desert. Automatically, you are feared, or you are afraid. Sorry. Okay, you are afraid. You are lost. You are afraid. Suppose you got lost, or how would you feel if people admire your work? Okay, you do a nice work. For example, you do well at an exam, and you got an excellent mark. So how do you feel? Okay, so you feel proud of your. It means you feel admiration for yourself or for your work. And finally, how would you feel if you could meet a celebrity? Okay, or if you meet a celebrity, how would you feel? So the answer is excited. Most of us are excited when they meet a celebrity. Good. So let's recap. Most of the time, we use adjectives for description. Here, we use them to describe our feelings and emotions. Right. Let's move to something else. You know that in English, sometimes when we add, not always, when we add suffix en to some adjectives, we can get a verb. Okay? So, adjective plus suffix en to make a verb. For example, deep, when we add en, we get to deepen. Okay? Deep, to deepen. So, some adjectives, not all I said, accept the suffix en to become verbs. Good. Let's do a very quick practice. Here we have, in this short paragraph, we have some adjectives like broad, like deep, like wide, like short. We have dark, we have rough, and we have soft. So, in this task, turn this adjective in red color into verbs by adding suffix en and making necessary changes on the aligned sentences. Be careful when you make or when you change these adjectives into verbs. Automatically, you have to make some changes at the level of the sentence. It's something you are obliged to make change because verbs are not used same way as adjectives, right? That's why you have to make changes. Here, to help you a little bit, I underline simply where you have to make changes. And meanwhile, you should be very careful because two sentences should be in passive. It means the verb that you are going to make should be used in passive. Right. So we say humor makes our mind broad because it allows us to see the funny side of life. So this is the importance or the advantage or the benefit somehow of humor. Okay? So this, for example, when you watch a humorous film or a funny film, etc. So this can broaden this and make your mind broad. So here you have to change this part of the sentence. You have to give the verb and make necessary changes at the level of the sentence. Moreover, sentence 2, it can make, we are still talking about humor, it can make our emotional life deep and wide, since it develops in us that capacity to laugh at ourselves. So here also you have to pay attention to what is underlined. Without it, without humor, our life expectancy would be short. It means we will not live longer, and our prospect would be dark. More importantly, while hardship makes our lives rough, humor makes it soft. So here, you should change what is underlined into, you have to make first to form the verb and to make some changes. Okay? I can give you, for example, number 1. Humor makes our mind broad. We have said that we make verb by adding the suffix in, en. So you guess it, it's so easy. So broaden, we say, we say broaden. But here you have to pay attention to the subject of the sentence. The subject of the sentence is humor. Okay? And the verb is in singular, makes. Automatically, we have to put this verb also in the present simple singular form. It means we have to add s. So we don't say broaden, we say broadens. So we say humor broadens our mind. So we omit makes because right at the beginning I told you to make some changes at the level of the sentence. So we say simply humor broadens our mind. Okay? Because it allows us to see the funny side of life. Okay? And we do the same thing for the others. Now let's focus on the final output. So this is what you could have made. Humor broadens our minds because it allows us to see. So we have only seen this sentence. Moreover, it can deepen. Here we use deepen without in the, how to say, in the infinitive form or in the base form because we have can. So after can, we should use stem. So moreover, it can deepen and widen our emotional lives since it develops in us that capacity to laugh at ourselves. Without it, our life expectancy would be shortened. Here we should be very careful. This is what I told you in the instruction. We have to use sometimes the passive form. Okay? Here we can't say simply would be shortened. Sorry, we have to add ed. Okay? Our life expectancy would be shortened without humor, and our prospect would be darkened. Okay? When we don't use humor. More importantly, while hardship roughens our lives, humor softens them. Okay? So here we have made verbs and we made necessary changes because it's important to change a little bit the sentence or to modify since we have changed the adjective into a verb. Right? Okay, so we come to the end of this lesson, right? So we come to the end of the lesson of vocabulary. Thank you very much for your attention and do revise your lessons, okay? And remember to be always positive in life, okay? In spite of the problems, in spite of circumstances that everybody is living today, we should be positive and not negative. Bye.